How did the son of a coal miner who earned just $5 a day make it to become one of the most successful comedians in the world? Well, Heidi Giokos met up with award-winning American comedian and television host Steve Harvey to speak about his journey in the media industry and how he's managed to make so much money by doing what he loves. Harvey is in South Africa in business, and this might excite some South Africans. Let's get the details now. Of course, the big news first, Heidi.
What's your name, Shahan? Because he seems to not be able to pronounce your name. It was actually quite funny. But it was an exciting opportunity to get to speak to Steve Harvey, and this is because he's launching his very famous show called Family Feud in South Africa. This will be, he'll start, with recordings and so forth mid-October, but the final launch date will be mid-January next year, so we'll have to wait a couple of months before that airs. I also begged him to please have the Giokos family on, because, I mean, we are the big Greek Giokos family. But he says it's a very exciting opportunity because he says his roots are on the African continent and he's decided to seek talent here as well. He says it's so important for Africans and South Africans to actually realize their talents, their potential and their skills. So he says this is why he's decided to venture out onto the African continent and to look for other skills and talents. Something that was also very interesting was that he says he wants to help in creating jobs in the media space. He says that he understands that it's a very difficult industry to be in. It's very fickle. 1 minute it's there, 1 minute it's not. So he's decided to try and create some positivity in this very bleak unemployment rate that we're seeing in the country at the moment. But let's listen to what Mr. Harvey, as he would like to be called, had to say about his new venture in South Africa.
I wanted to come here to do business, to try and create opportunity, to create some jobs that I could, but through entertainment. That's my forte. And so there's no need of me coming over here talking about I'm going to create jobs in diamond mines, because I don't know where they are. If I did, I would get a shovel and be out there. I don't know where they are, and if you do, please let me know. So I didn't come here for that. I came here with my family to get established on the continent. I came to Botswana last November to a Diamond Council meeting, women's conference, to speak. And suddenly God just put it on my heart, and I just said, man, this could be the way I could come to the continent. Finally, through entertainment. And so I struck a deal with my partners at Fremantle, and they gave me the rights to do Family Feud here in Johannesburg. So starting in late October, I start taping Family Feud here in Johannesburg.
Naturally, you're the business reporter of the channel, so you had to ask him what he could do to help deal with youth unemployment.
Exactly. So, of course, the business reporter in me has to ask all the investment questions. But what was interesting about what Steve Harvey had to say was the fact that, I asked him what was one of the best investments he's ever made, or the worst investments he's ever made. And he said that the best investment he's ever made is in people. He says it's the most valuable and the most rewarding. Also making, comments about how South Africans need to make sure that they change their, what was the word he used? Change their attitude so they can change their altitude, and that things like that, like believing in yourself and knowing that the road to success is always under construction. But let's listen to the words of Steve Harvey.
If I could get back the money I've lost on bad investments, I could quit working right now. I could stop. I've made so many bad decisions. The biggest investment I've ever made was my investment in people. That's been my greatest investment. That return has been the greatest thing I've ever seen. In my children, in the boys that I mentor, in the girls that I mentor, the reward when a kid comes up to you and go, Mr. Harvey, you remember me? I was at your camp 10 years ago. I'm a lawyer. Mr. Harvey, I was at your camp and your scholarship. I'm an engineer today. That investment for me has been the most rewarding and has had the greatest payoff, because it's been the reward to change lives. That's huge for me.
So Heidi, when I heard that you were speaking to him, naturally I wanted you to do something, and it went pretty well, right?
I don't think so. Rashan Ramkisoon, and then he was like, wait, the Indian name is, and then he tried to get it right, but we were all laughing in the room. But let's listen to how Steve Harvey says Shahan Ramkisoon.
And you're watching The Lead with Shahan Ramkisoon. Hey, I'm Steve Harvey, and you're watching The Lead with Rashawn Patterson. But his Indian name is Shahan Ramkisoon. Hey, I'm Steve Harvey, and you're watching The Lead with Shahan Ramkisoon.
Firstly, I'd love to know how I knew it was Indian, because did you show him a pic?
No, nothing of that sort. That is your new name. I'm seriously going to start calling you Rashan from now on.
Okay, we'll leave it right there. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.